Do you know what I'm doing? Have you ever been in the car and somebody slams on the brakes and either you as the driver or oh look, blue bookers on my nice sweater. You winning. Um, okay. So you slam on the brakes and you put your arm out. Ah. So do you do that? You might not be old enough that that's part of what you do because once upon a time, boys and girls, there were no laws about seat belts. We flew through the windshield as a regular occurrence during wrecks. So, people who were accustomed to driving around other people, also when children could sit in the front seat, it wasn't illegal for little tiny people to sit in the front seat. We just go, right, to keep you in there. Okay, so look, that happens with me now. I'm 57. Seatbelts have been a law for a long time. I do it when I'm alone. If something happens and I need to stop suddenly, I breathe in all of the air and I put my arm out because I've got a super arm. Will save the people from destruction. Super arm. All right, not really, but you know what I mean. What's the point, Brandy? Old data. This is an example of old data, right? It's a behavior that was modeled for me for a lot of my learning about the world, life. And then I also took over that behavior. A beautiful person said that their family, when they try and be different, their family tries to trap them into who they were. So here's what I offered. The story about the arm flinging to save the people. If you can start to hear your people just a little different, like folks with autism will squinch their eyes, they'll make their ears hear, like they hear different because they manipulate their burp or their eyes, or they will chant to themselves, they will hum, do hand flapping things. What's the point? The point is sometimes like their body is adjusting their world so it's easier for them to be them in that world, right? That's part of, you can call it a coping mechanism, but it's just part of how the body is, how their body soothes them, okay? Okay, so look. I feel like I'm getting off track, but here I get back on track. Ready, go. When you can take the stuff that you've seen, the regular old life and the regular old world that you've seen all the time, Chuck says, hey, and you start to manipulate it. Because there's this thing where like, well, that's not reality. Honey, you know what reality is? What you have decided it is. So if you're the person, you got to prove it to me first. You got, wonder is going to have to come up and punch you in the junk. And even then, you're not going to even notice wonder because you're going to be complaining. Okay, so, Brandy, I know. I got the bugs again. When you take your regular world that you've been looking at all of your life, that's been coming at you all of your life. Your regular world, you're not good enough. Why don't you do this? Have you met you? You just quit everything. Why do you even start? Look at that pile. Look at that pile of things you haven't finished. Oh, look at it. Oh, revel in the piles of things. Why start a new thing? Okay. So when your people are trying to keep you trapped in this thing, maybe you can have kind eyes for them by squinching, by patting, by doing this. It's perspective play, babe. So when I say to you, consider it like, or consider it like old data, like the being in a coma for 40 years and coming out and thinking you need to find a phone book and borrow a dime so you can call a dentist at a phone booth. Like old data, babe. Kind eyes mean looking at it different. means they don't have to be wrong. What if they're being so insistent that it needs to be one way serves you because you have to on purpose make an intent to change something. You don't get to just slide into it. You get to decide, I'm going to do this redonkulous thing, and it's amazing, and it's going to take half a miracle, and I'm in for it. You want to be in for it? Come and play with us in Porch Party and Sturdy Hall. The links are in my profile. You can get to there by clicking this little brandy face if you're on the TikTok. So much of what we're angry at with another generation and even other people is old data that is fueled by fear. So we have to self-promote and self-protect. And we don't feel like we can just be okay with them not being okay with us. Like we feel like we have to build up a wall. And when we build up the wall, we're the ones that get trapped inside and they are free to roam. So when you learn how to be sturdy in yourself by anchoring yourself in an identity that was knit into you before time even began, knit into you in your mother's womb, then you start to feel different about being you in your life. And also, like if you had a big brother that you had a good relationship with, and they were like, that's my sister. Like if your big brother was the rock. And you'd be like, I don't have to self-protect. And I don't have to self-promote because I got my brother. Who would be your identity? The who you are. The who you are that you are sturdy in. And the sturdiness, we get tossed around because the wind, not tossed around, but kind of like a tree. Do you know what trees are the most sturdy? The ones that get tossed around. Because they learn to grow roots deep and sturdy. All right. This is a public service announcement from Brandy, Chuck, and the book is in my head. I'm madly in love with you. Come play with us in Porch Party. That's the paid $33 a month group call. There are 3 calls a month. And come and play in Sturdy Hall. That's the free school group. You can get to them both. Click the link. Also, if you're doing the 5-day thing that's up now and it got stuck after day 1, I'm sending the rest out manually because I got to jiggle the handle. Because Tech and I, we have this burgeoning relationship. It seems we're real shy right now, or some junk. All right? All right. Okay, so do you notice that even when I talk about the tech stuff, it's not against me? I'm just getting to learn a thing. We're having a new relationship. You can stop thinking everything in the world is against you because when you keep saying that stuff, you keep seeing it. All right? All right. Boo, boo.